Shalom, shalom, Israel. Shalom, Yasharala. It's your man, Jaquar Bunya Howard. First, let's give all praises, honor, and glory to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? All right, it's been a minute. Forgive me. I've been involved in a few things, which is not necessarily an excuse, but I'm back at it again. So once again, all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And I'm going to go over a few scriptures as usual. And I just think somebody needs to hear this because, our people are destroyed for a variety of reasons. The enemy can always sneak up on you. Some people struggle with demons. Some people have... it's just rough out here in these Hebrew streets. So we're just going to start with John, the 5th chapter, right? Because a lot of our people have long-standing, long-term issues. So without that, let's go to John chapter 5, verse 1. It says, and after this was a feast of the Jews, and Yahushua went up to Jerusalem. Verse 2 says, now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep Salakia, a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. So you had people that had many issues, as we just described. Verse 4 says, for an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Right? And whosoever then the first after the troubling of the water stepped in was made whole of whatsoever disease he had. Right? So, I'm quite sure many people were there, obviously. John chapter 11, verse 5. And a certain man was there, which had an infirmity 38 years. Now, in this particular instance, excuse me, it clearly doesn't say what the infirmity is. It could be physical. It could have been physical. It could have been spiritual. It could have been mental, or whatever the case, it's not described. But the main thing, it says, this man suffered from this for 38 years. Verse 6 says, and when Yahushua saw him lie, he knew that he'd been now a long time in that case, saith unto him, wilt thou be made whole? Right? So Yahushua knew what the problem was. He knew how long he had it, right? John chapter 5, verse 7 says, the impotent man answered him, sir, I have no man when the water is troubled, Salakia, to put me in the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. So clearly the man wanted to be healed, but somebody cut him, or somebody jumped in front of him, or whatever the case. Yahushua saith unto him, rise, take up thy bed and walk. Right? And immediately the man was made whole and took up his bed and walked on the same day as the Sabbath. Now, after this is an issue with some of the Jews. They're like, oh, you doing work, on the Sabbath or whatever. But my focus is on the man. My focus is on the man because the bickering back and forth between our people. Oh, I can't believe this man just made a miracle. Let's go back to these scriptures. It says, Um, he said, I have no man to put me when the water is troubled, to put me in the pool. And so basically, the man was making excuses. So I said all that to say this. You know, a lot of our people suffer from alcoholism, um, sex addiction, addiction, drug addiction, marijuana. I don't care. A drug is a drug. People are going to say, well, you know, God made weed and, you know, I don't give niggas. Now, unless there's a small percentage of people that I will concede uh, use weed, marijuana, Mary Janes, you know, for medicinal purposes. But 9 out of 10 of you niggas smoke weed to get blazed, and you're hooked on it. You know, just like a man or a woman is hooked on cocaine or hooked on crack. So, um, this particular individual was in a bad spot for years, 38 years. So the point of what I'm saying is Yahushua can heal you. I'm not going to get into, you know, whether if Yahushua was working on Shabbat, because if you go into the rest of the channel, you know, the rest of the chapter, you know, the Jews kind of jumped on Yahushua, not physically jumped on him, but you know, they wanted to get at him. So the main point, like I said, we're going to go to Hebrews real quick. The main point is, if you really want it, the Most High can heal you. Depends on how bad do you want. Someone told me one day, like how long do you want to be in a certain condition? Shout out my truck driving brother. So having said that, let's go to Hebrews 11 real quick, because I can't make my videos long. We all know that. Hebrews chapter 11. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Right? So the main thing is, when an individual has an issue, sex addiction, cocaine addiction, marijuana addiction. I don't give a fuck. When I started, I'm 63 years old. I'm Salaki for my language. I started smoking weed when I was in 8th grade, and it's the gateway drug. It leads to other things. I don't give a F. All right. And like I said, most people don't smoke weed because they got a backache. Some people do. Shout out to Gigi. Some people do use it for medicinal purposes, but half the time you niggas want to get blazed. All right. A drug is a drug is a drug is a drug. You know, whether it's pills, whether it's weed, whether it's coke, crack, whatever. You want to escape. You want to escape a certain situation that you're in, and the high that you seek is more comfortable than reality. That's it. I don't care. I don't care what you say. It is what it is. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 2. For by it the elders obtain a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High. So that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Verse 4. By faith Abel offered unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, which he obtained witness that he was righteous, Yahweh testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death. That's crazy. It says he should not see death. Now, do we have faith like that as a collective? Right? Verse 5, read it again. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death and was not found because Yahweh had translated him before his transition. He had testimony that he pleased Yahweh. Verse 6, Hebrews 11:6. But without faith, oh, nobody's going to put me in the water. Oh, I can't stop. I got to do it. I got to do it. I have to have it. By faith, it is impossible to please him. Right? Because, we all know we can go to dark places. We can go to really dark places if we really want to. Hebrews 11:6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. That cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. All right, I'm already at 11 minutes. I'm just going to read a couple more. I'm really frustrated because I can't do long videos like I used to. And this is the last one I'm going to read. This is Hebrews 11 and 30. It says, by faith, the walls of Jericho fell after they were compassed about 7 days. All right. So having said that, Shabbat Shalom, Ashar Shabbat. Repent and keep the commandments. Love y'all.